Hey everyone, it has definitely been a while, but I promise you that changes today. We're starting a whole new era on our YouTube channel, one filled with transparency and glory and bliss, and I am so excited. We have a lot more content planned for you guys. We're going to be a lot more transparent with you guys on exactly what we've been building over the last few years. To be honest, I think we've done a pretty poor job at communicating and keeping you guys updated on what we've built over the last few years, and no fault of anyone besides ourselves. So that starts today with the May 14th patch rundown, which is today, and this should be out by the time you guys see this video. If you guys do want closed access, you guys can join our Discord. The link will be in the bio, and you can type /key in a channel that we have, and it'll spit out an Epic Game Store key for you. You just redeem that, and you can play it. Disclaimer, this is of course very early gameplay, very early in what we're trying to build, so don't be too harsh. Don't be too harsh. We also totally recognize, because of the lack of communication on exactly what we've been building, that some of you might be missing context to this patch and maybe a little bit confused at the things that I'm going to be talking about. My promise to you is the next video that we're going to be releasing is kind of a reintroduction into Star Atlas and what we've built over the last few years, so you can totally look forward to that. I'm also very much looking forward to just re-explaining exactly what we've been building over the last few years. It is awesome. I promise you, you're not going to want to miss that one. So let's go over what is included in this patch. I'll be going through the major highlights. I will not be going line by line in the patch notes telling you that a helmet was turned 3 degrees south and we fixed an issue where a character was doing the cha-cha slide. If you want that kind of detail, feel free to go to the description. There is a patch notes link that you can read, and you can get the whole thing, the whole shebang. But let's get started. Major highlights. First things first, we're adding dedicated server support to hosted gunplay lobbies. A couple things here being, if you want to have a dedicated server for your lobby, you need to have 4 or more players when you start the game. So if you have 3 players in your lobby and you start it and then someone else joins later, you will still have that peer-to-peer server. So if you want that dedicated server, you will need 4 people in your lobby, and then you start a gunplay mode, and then there it is, you have the dedicated server. And this is huge for players who play around the world, because if you're connecting to someone who is across the world, it's not going to feel as bad. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say it's going to feel pretty good, but it's not going to feel as bad. Next, and off the back of that, is we have a new way to host lobbies. So there's a new lobby hosting screen where you can get into it, you can host something, and then invite your friends, they'll ready up, and then you'll get into whatever mode that you select with the rules that you want it to have. Pretty simple stuff here, but pretty huge when you want to customize the experience that you want to have with your friends. So the arena maps that we currently have are Paizo's Arena, Gateway, and Uru. Uru is not receiving any major updates this patch, but it does have some significant progress on the white boxing phase, so we're not going to talk about Uru, but let's talk about the other 2 arena maps. Firstly, with Paizo's Arena. Paizo's Arena before this patch was basically just white box phase, and that is finally moving on to a more polished, with textures and life and spaceships flying all around, and it has received a major overhaul, which is awesome. I'll show some befores and afters on the footage right now so you guys can see all the progress that's been made. People in our community should know that one of our biggest philosophies here at Star Atlas is that we love to show you guys the step-by-step process of what something looks like from beginning to end. So that's why you're able to see white box levels and white box ships and stuff like that. So we really hope you guys enjoy seeing Paizo's Arena going from that white box phase to this more polished white box phase instead. Now let's talk a little bit about Gateway, our other arena map. Gateway is definitely more polished than the other 2 maps, but we are making some changes here based directly off community feedback. Actually, the community had some feedback based around the map maybe feeling a little bit larger than we intended, and that's just because the middle of the map was so closed off. It's like this middle kind of arena area that you had to get into at specific spots. So we're opening the map up a lot more, and there's going to be a ton more ways to get into the middle of the map, into the middle of the action. So you guys should definitely feel the impacts of these changes, but of course, let us know what you think about these changes. Next, let's talk about one of my favorite ships, the shape-shifting extra small fighter ship, the Pierce X5. So the Pierce X5 is reaching its final in-game model, going from that white box phase to the final in-game model. Still some animation work to do, but I am so stoked to see the final in-game model in game. It's super cool. I can't wait to see all the different modes and animations. For those of you who don't know, there's attack mode, there's normal mode, there's speed mode, and there's defense mode for the Pierce X5. And it'll shapeshift into different forms to accommodate that mode. So yeah, super stoked to see the final in-game model. Can't wait to see what the animation looks like on the ship. Definitely look forward to that one in an upcoming patch. Okay, next is something that people have been yelling at us for forever, which is totally understandable. It's about dang time that we do this. Custom keybinds. So if you don't like what a key has, if you don't like that you run with this button and you shoot with this button, just change it. You can change your custom keybinds to whatever the heck you want. and you can play the game how you want to, customize your experience. So that is finally in the game. Please stop yelling at me now. Next is the start of something great, co-op dogfighting. What you're going to be able to do here is go into the dogfight arena with your friends and fight waves of AI spaceships, kind of like spaceship COD zombies. Pretty cool idea in my opinion, but this is the MVP version, so it's pretty basic right now, and you should see improvements over time in this game mode. For the most part, this is us working on vehicle replication and basically just making sure when you play multiplayer with spaceships in it and you see someone else's ship, it's doing the correct things on your screen that someone else is doing on their screen. So Star Atlas is not just gunplay, it's not just space exploration, it's not just planet exploration, it's not just political domination and warfare. It's also racing, and we're making some awesome improvements to the user experience of racing. So it's going to be easier to start races. The user interface is just a lot more friendly, and while honestly it is pretty early in the development of racing, it's looking pretty promising right now. So give it a shot with your friends. And last but certainly not least, we are adding significant improvement to the mining minigame out in Gallia. If you guys don't know, you guys are able to go out in Gallia, scan for asteroids, go to that asteroid, and start mining it. But with this update, we're actually taking that up a level. You're going to be able to find differing sizes of asteroids that have varying levels of difficulty, as well as different types of asteroids that give out different types of resources. Now, you're not going to be able to get that resource in this update, but you're going to see different colored asteroids and different types of asteroids that in the future will give those different types of resources. What's important to this part of the update is we're adding different vehicle modes now. So there's going to be combat, tractor beam, scanning, and mining modes. And just a heads up, you are going to be able to find minables on planet surfaces. So those were the major highlights, but I still want to go through a couple more extra patch notes that I still think are pretty cool. Like one of them is the ability to chain different movement abilities. So if you're flying and you land and you input a slide while landing, it will now chain both of the movement abilities into one movement ability. Another one is that we added a new shotgun model. So out within, in with the new, we have a new shotgun model that you guys can go check out and play with and use and abuse, and if you use a shotgun, I hate you. And last on the extra notes that I want to give you guys is we added a crosshair aim obstructor indicator, basically just an X where if you're going to shoot a wall, we let you know that you're going to shoot a wall, which is great. It's a great quality of life change that I really enjoy. And that's going to do it for the patch rundown. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you guys do want access to the game, you guys can get access by joining our Discord and typing /key in a channel that we have designated for that exact action. For the people who maybe need a little bit of a refresher on Star Atlas, the next video will be for you. And like I said, we will be doing a lot more on YouTube going forward and being a lot more transparent and a lot more communicative. So thank you guys so much again. Have a great rest of your day or night. See you, everybody.